All right, we're live. Here we go.
Hey, Dicejunkies is live.
That's dangerous.
Well, yeah, it is at this point.
I'm glad we weren't live 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't have been for the best there,
No.
Bloodaxe.
No,
We'd already been demonetized.
more than that.
More than demonetized. Demonized.
I mean, Q may be our only saving grace at that point.
I might throw you both under the bus. I don't know. I was considered it dead. I was like, should I? No, I guess I'll give him a pass.
Don't look at me.
You know. Because I know what he was referencing. He was saying what people say.
I know.
We had that experience. He blocked a guy.
Let's
I'm
not.
not going to repeat it, but he blocked a guy for talking that way
I
on
know.
Gears.
It's just a dangerous tiptoe through the tulips there, you know.
I was really afraid you were going to say Cottonfield. I was really worried. We were just going to keep going down this road until we slamming at that wall.
No. You got to reference it back to South of Midnight through the fluff.
The floof. Remember, it's the floof. You collected
Whatever.
floof because you was a weaver.
So how is that game? You played it yet, Q?
Hell no.
Oh,
Even before I didn't want to play it because Kim Belair and Sweet Baby Eek. But then I was like, wait, those sewing needles and I'm collecting floof that looks a lot like no. I was like, no, y'all ain't tricking me into picking cotton in the game. That ain't happening. You
The
might be a little
story
slicker.
seemed interesting, but I've heard the gameplay is god awful.
It's hackneyed. Giving the in-depth reviews I've seen, the combat's an afterthought.
Yeah.
It's an afterthought. The game looks like it's exactly what you expect from Baby Inc., where there was a game, then they came in and they made it about a certain thing, and then everything else was done retroactively. And it plays like a game that said, we want to get this across, and then I guess we should have combat and platforming, and let's collect something. I don't know. What are we collecting? Floof? I mean, dude, you're literally like in an alternate realm and it's trauma. You could be collecting wisps or dream fetters or all these other words. No, floof, pile of cotton. I mean, just lazy.
I mean, honestly, dude, I thought the
So
game
lazy.
was going to be more in the myth style where it wasn't even going to really have combat. It was going to be this interesting adventure, storytelling, you know. So, I mean, it threw me when people were like, oh, the combat. I was like, there's combat in that game?
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's the combat you see before. It's Forspoken. It's what was the stupid flintlock? That's the sad part is how the combats are so similar.
I thought it was going to be just an interesting storytelling game, you know. But anyways, let's get
I want to
started.
play as a catfish. There's welcome mode I can play as a catfish. Especially if I can drown. No, but if I can play as a catfish, man, I'll play as a catfish.
All right,
I still can't believe the black dude turns into a chicken.
let's not get started.
He
Let's
turns into a chicken.
let's just forget about the
The
whole
black
show.
dude turns
We're
into
just
a
gonna
rooster.
Let people keep interrupting and
Yeah, chicken. Say something.
Now
You
I'm
like
done.
chicken?
I
You
love
like
chicken.
You love chicken. Well, you love this game, man. Brother, one black guy, male character turns into a chicken. Who thought of that?
I don't like them live. I like them fried.
I just want to say, like, you supposed to be a sensitivity, like Berza. You should have looked at him and said, now what now? He turns into...
And then
Can
you
we do something else?
hear the fans sizzling in the background?
Yeah. Listen.
All right, let's get started. Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with,
Q.
and on Skype.
We have Bloodaxe.
All right, let's get started.
Oh my God, it's so stupid. I'm sorry, I'm recovering now. Every time I think
Damn it,
about
Blood
how
Axe. All right. Oh, Blood Axe killed me in the chat there, man. Why you gonna put that up there? That's just wrong.
Well, we have two watchers, so at least they get the joke.
a big black cock. Little dude.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh.
Chicken. Oh.
I mean, somebody should have got fired. There should have been a moment where somebody looks and goes like, hey, man, was that your session? Yeah. This is so stupid. Or as they say for Soul, I can move shit with my mind.
And there goes our...
Sorry, they curse a lot in that game for no good reason. Like, you know, it's bad when you can't even quote a game because its most famous line just filled with profanity.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We've got people that are going to tell us how to save the gaming industry. We got some advice for you from the specialist today. How to save the gaming industry.
Really? Do we? Which one?
Yeah, Blizzard CEO, man. Got some advice for us. What's wrong with the gaming industry?
Well, I mean, have you jumped on the Oblivion train, Bloodaxe?
I downloaded it, but I started playing Expedition 33, so I haven't cranked it up yet.
Yeah.
I've already made my own spell. It's called Smite. Gives you weakness to electricity while hitting you with a 3-second duration of shock. Yeah, handmade spell, baby. Walking up.
Yeah. I jumped back into Oblivion for the remastered. Quite enjoyed it. I will say, it does hurt. It hurts Bethesda's claim of we can't do that in Unreal Engine. We must use our own engine.
It hurts their idea that they need to keep simplifying their games.
Yeah.
Man, it's nice having stats and skill ranks that I can, and detail in my game, I'm enjoying it.
I would like more, but...
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, come on. I'm a crunch master.
Yeah.
Like Fallout 3 remake. Now, Fallout 3 was when you could get nice and crunchy there, too. I used to have some crunchy builds for Fallout 3. I'm looking forward to that. But it's a shame that you got to go back to feel like you're moving forward because the games are getting dumber as you're getting smarter and more experienced.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's what Blizzard's Mike Ibarra has to say. He says, I'm skeptical about 20-year-old remasters. What was once fantastic, now remastered, will never hold up against modern pieces like Elden Ring. The bar has simply moved from safe open RPGs to what Elden Ring brought us all. I would love to be proven wrong, but I'm not. Proven wrong.
And
buddy.
I literally, yeah. And I want you to know, I literally kept reading it as Bethesda because it's so dumb for a Blizzard guy to be saying that. So I'm like, why are you riding From Software's dick? Like he didn't even mention one of his games. He's mentioning Elden Ring. Talking about, well, it's not as good as Elden Ring. And I'm like, and nothing you made either is good as Elden Ring. He's also
former Blizzard boss. I don't know where he's at.
He ain't at From Software. No, that's what I'm saying. Is I hate hearing people talk crap that ain't even, they're talking crap and they ain't even got nothing to hat in it. Don't get me wrong. Elden Ring is a masterpiece. Great game. But that's for From Software to brag about, right, Bloodaxe? Like, wouldn't From Software be the one to brag about their game and say, like, well, it's not our game? Why are you over there like, well, I mean, it's not Elden Ring? And I'm like, and neither's anything you made,
He apparently
loser.
is the chief executive officer at Prize Picks.
She needs to shut up. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because
it's a fantasy sports company.
no, it's a gambling site. Is what it is. But
yeah,
because you can't throw out Diablo 4 as a winner. That's for sure.
Not in the same way. That's not a real RPG.
I mean, my thing is, yeah. I mean, he basically said that remasters won't succeed. And
while
I'll be honest,
succeeding.
Yeah, while they're succeeding. Also, I mean, dude, sadly, remasters is the best gaming we're getting right now.
Well, because they're remastering good games.
Yeah.
If they remaster KOTOR 2, I'd buy it today.
Now, I mean, I'll admit now, you come up with a really good new game, yeah, it's going to outdo remasters every day,
But how many of those are there?
But
Nobody mentioned Elden Ring? Elden Ring was years ago, dude. That tells you by itself that he didn't mention a 2025 or 2024 game.
Also, additionally, we also know this game came out it gave gamers something at a lower cost than the $70 and $80 we're seeing. We saw $50 game. Additionally, the cost of creating the game was lowered, and remasters don't cost as much, so they bring capital in. And it's a 20-year-old game. If you're gonna remaster a game, 20-plus-year-old games are the best ones to do because you have a whole new audience that never played the game. Would I love to see some really good new stuff? Yeah, fucking A. But we haven't.
I mean, there would have been a time I would have said, this should have been Elder Scrolls 6. But then I remember Starfield, and I go, this is probably better than what we might have got if it was Elder Scrolls 6. I'll never forgive Starfield.
I mean, but for a shadow-dropped game that is a remaster of a 20-year-old game.
Not advertised, no commercials, nothing.
Yeah. 216 peak.
No hype or anything.
80% positive reviews. That's pretty damn good. I mean, I'm glad.
A success, dude.
Yeah,
it's already a success.
I'm glad to see something come out that people are enjoying.
And a Game Pass game.
Yeah.
So this is what it sold, and people are playing on Steam that paid money for it. We know the Game Pass numbers are way bigger. So him saying, I don't think a remastered game to succeed, I'm like, you're on crack. You're over at that gambling site because you're on meth. Like, you've lost your damn mind. This game is knocking it out the park.
Yeah, I mean, also, it was released on PlayStation and Xbox. Yeah, so...
And it's just an Unreal Remaster, so like you said, cost of production was low.
So you have... Plus, it was they just had to get the rights for the Unreal Engine, because Unreal Engine is something that they didn't have to create or do any work on, multi-console, and you're seeing those numbers on Steam.
And the thing is we've done the math. What is it, like somewhere between five times or more that number usually in sales from the peak numbers? This game's already broke 1 million copies sold while also being on Game Pass. It's a success.
This says the game reached 4 million players 3 days after release.
So that's players. We don't know how many of those were Steam sold copies. Yeah. But with 218 concurrent, it's probably got 1 million copies sold on Steam alone. Because once we retroed the math, and it's about you take the peak and you multiply it by about at least 5 to get an idea of the sales. It's made its money. It's probably well more than cleaned its money out, and it's gotten Game Pass a lot of activity.
Yeah.
And if that isn't even the only thing, it's not the only game that's kicking butt on Game Pass right now.
No, actually, Game
Pass
also
kicking butt on Steam.
Xbox has redeemed itself a bit this week. I mean, we've seen them not doing well with their releases, but additionally, on top of Oblivion, which has been doing well this week, they also did clear Obscure Expedition 33, which is also got a decent Steam peak. And this is for a new franchise.
Yeah, that number is not accurate. We checked it. It was over 100,000.
But, I mean, this is for a new franchise that is got a somewhat unique gameplay style. So... Bloodaxe, you played it. What do you got to say on it, man? I haven't got a chance to play it. I did download it, but I haven't played it yet.
Well, for a new studio that only has about 30 developers, it's actually so far been well done. My biggest complaint, or the only complaint, is it does take you a minute to really get into the game if you do the prologue. Mm-hmm. But the story, the way it kind of wraps you in, and the hook is really tugged at your heartstrings. I immediately got invested in the game, which you can ask Q. I don't do usually that fast. And I was like, oh shit. So it really I felt the motivation to, okay, I want to get in this game and I want to do something. it's a turn-based game, but you have blocks and parries, and as if whenever it's the enemy's attack, but you also have the option to power up your attacks with button combinations with a spinning wheel that you can do a perfect attack and to increase your damage. So it's kind of a turn-based game with a twist, which is really interesting. But the this is probably what I thought Final Fantasy should have eventually gone towards, because the graphics, while they're nice, they're not super pristine like we have with Final Fantasy, but I think they mitigated some of the cost based on the way they did the artwork with the paintress. And that bitch is interesting. And so those that don't know what the concept is, basically there's once a year this paintress comes out and she paints a number on this mural across the water, and at the next year everyone that's that age will die. And so they started at 100 and they worked their way down. So in the game you start with 34 and then you are 33 years old, so that's why you're Expedition 33. And you go across the water and your goal is to basically stop the cycle. And so, the premise was pretty interesting and new, but as you walk through, there's like this weird paint stuff everywhere. It's kind of mutated version of, as you can see the Eiffel Tower in the background, mutated version of France. The story I think is really captivating. Now, I haven't really gotten super deep into the game, so from a gameplay perspective, I don't know if it gets super rewarding with the parries and the blocks and some of the other things. But the fact that I've been interested to why I didn't delete it before the prologue was finished says something. And so I think it's a game that those of us that don't want the Dark Souls like experience can enjoy, but also have a RPG type game as well. So I've enjoyed it. It's been a pleasant surprise compared to the other things that we've had recently. It's come on Game Pass. It's been absolute stinkers.
Cool. Yeah, no, I mean, it looks actually really interesting. I want to try it out. I've sort of lost touch with turn based, but it does seem like it's a turn based with that's trying to keep you interested. So I'll definitely give it a go. I mean, it does seem it's got a 90% Steam score right now, so and a 90 on Metascore, so it's been getting highly reviewed. But reviews, it's really hard to tell this day and age on what a valid review is or not, because we have scores on obviously crappy games that getting like 100%. But it does seem like people seem to be talking well about it. So.
Yeah, and I mean, you see enemies on the map, unlike Final Fantasy, where you walk around and you just bump into something and starts a fight scene. You can actually run and initiate a fight with an enemy and actually get a bonus if you use your bumpers. Which, as I was telling everybody before the show, my right bumper doesn't work, so I'm having a hard time with it, which I need a new controller. But it does kind of give you a little bit more to do than just walk around until you bump into something and then a fight ensues. So I've enjoyed it. I'll keep playing it, and maybe we'll touch on it again next week to see if it still continues to be fun. But it's definitely captivating in the beginning. I will give it that.
Like I said, this is the only reason I can stick with Game Pass. It is how Game Pass will have just a spree of failure. Then it'll just have like a burst, you know what I'm saying? Of not often, but it's a burst of games where you're like, okay, like I'm still playing Monster Hunter Wilds, but Expedition 33 is out there. I am playing also alongside it the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Towerborn comes out tomorrow, which is a multiplayer beat 'em up that all three of us are hopefully going to get a chance to jump on and try out. I'm definitely going to be on it tomorrow. We're
yeah,
off tomorrow,
I will say, Game Pass is throwing me though, man. They really do throw me, because it's like, honestly, Oblivion probably taken away a little bit from Expedition 33. it was a weird thing to release these two so close together. We had a bunch of downtime that they could have dropped this in, but they waited so close to another RPG type game. So I will say I don't know what they're doing.
I know what you're saying. There doesn't seem to be a viable pattern. Yeah. They're not spacing this out to keep you interested, like I said. And then, I mean, Expedition 33 got blindsided because it was a shadow drop. So Expedition 33 is probably like, man, we're doing good. And what?
Yeah.
Why? You're an RPG. Don't do this.
You just dropped this, 2 days before our release? You just drop Oblivion Remaster, one of the most popular games.
It's why I'm not playing it. Look, I'm a dad. I have very limited gameplay time. I'm trying to keep up with the Spring Festival on Wilds. I'm trying to make sure I get it every day and knock out a little bit of that. And, also tomorrow, Arch Raid Out comes out for Wild. So I'm like... But I want to level my magic.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even download. And then I need to play with my friends on Towerborn. So I'm like, tomorrow I get Wilds and that release. So it's
Towerborn, another RPG-like game, comes out in a day.
Well, it's a beat 'em up, but it's going to be great for co-op because it's cross-platform. And dude, like split story. I've already said this. Split story success a lot comes from being co-op.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, I know me and Bloodaxe will run around on that sucker and beat the living heck. Pyroblast is mine. I get the big heavy weapon.
It's a survival game, so I'm going to have like the epic, base setup to where we're going to not want for anything.
No, Towerborn's not that. It's a beat 'em up. It's
beat 'em up.
It's like Golden Axe.
It's a survival game. You sure?
No, it's like Golden Axe. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. It's like what if Gauntlet was a beat 'em up? It even has the little monster spinner out things.
What was the game that's going to be a survival game coming out? I thought that was Towerborn.
No, that's something light. You're talking about the one that
the No Man's Sky.
Yeah, the No Man's Sky.
Yeah, no, that one's not. Yeah, that one's a ways off.
Yeah.
I thought it was Towerborn. Okay, maybe I got my games mixed
up. If there's
up.
another survival game, go find it. I'll play it with you. Like if you got something.
Why Xbox is releasing Far Cry 4? I don't know.
Which is also co-op. Though,
they re-release games.
You gotta be able to say
it's old though, man.
The ultimate, like Monster Train, they took it off, put it back on, and Far Cry 4 was on a while back. They put it back on, so they'll cycle through games and they'll put it back on Game Pass from time to time. It's not new to Game Pass; it's just coming to Game Pass.
It says
coming back to Game Pass.
Oh wait a minute, maybe that's what he's talking about. That said it had base building. Were you talking about the altars? There's the. Wow, I love the way Zeno just rips away from something after he's seen it. Like
you said to rip away from it, you dumb.
Did I just realize it may be the game he's
and now I'm
about.
trying to find it again.
Go up there. I swear I'm gonna take the keyboard from him. This man is supposed to know what he's doing. There we go. Operate.
What you gonna do?
I have no idea how to use it.
I know you don't.
But you know what? I can find the altars. All right, this says it has base building elements. You sure this is the one you were talking about?
Maybe that was it. It was a couple of weeks ago when I was looking at the games coming to Game Pass.
Looks pretty. Well, no. Okay, I can't tell. That looks all over the place, doesn't it?
I know.
Wow. No, hold on, people. I want you to see this. These screenshots do not look like they're from the same game, because then there's that.
Yeah, it looks like old Fallout shelters.
No, but then this looks like a proper game. This is a weird. Okay, you know what? It comes out June.
May 11th.
No, June 13th.
Oh,
I guess we'll take a peek at it. Bloodaxe. Let's see. I mean, it's supposed to be an emotional journey.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Only a $35 game, so it's an indie game.
I mean, it was on Game Pass. I ain't paying spit.
Now, I will say.
Emotional journey.
Yeah, but did it look like it had the combat? I don't know.
This game here,
that's a cool game.
Yeah.
Now, if you already know the story, unfortunately I do, but if you haven't played it, it is an awesome Lovecraftian horror game.
If you want something interesting to play
and unique,
just definitely pick this one up.
Well, this is a rare case of getting an indie game people would want to play. Dredge, it's really popular. It's a cool story. You'd love it
because it's been in early development for a long time, and because it's been in early access for a long time, there's already videos of full playthroughs and all that out there. But if you haven't paid attention to that and you want something interesting to play, Dredge is a really cool indie game. Pick it up.
It is a rare case of a game that I wish I had not seen videos.
Yeah.
Because it was really good, but I know all the endings.
Well, where I saw how, a lot about this game, it was a Dog Mud, our local, they kept playing playthroughs of it every time I was there.
So you're sort of eating, it's going like, what's that? And then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But so like I said, you never know with these people. You really don't. It's hard to read frigging Game Pass because it'll be like, and then all of a sudden, hey.
So, anyways, I mean, that was just my point. Is Game Pass seems to be all over the place, and they seem to either drop a bunch of crap or then they hurt themselves by dropping a bunch of good stuff all at once.
Oh, I could finally play Grand Theft Auto 5 for free. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that came out a while back.
I mean, I played most of the Grand Theft Autos. I'll probably give it a spin.
I did not like the way the
split
switch in
characters?
the MC.
Yeah, you're probably right.
For 5, but
But
it sounds like that's what they're going to do with 6 too. They're going to have multiple MCs. I don't know why they went that route. Anyway, that's off into just this isn't it. Here we go. Speaking of things, people doing stupid things. Some people are getting caught for doing stupid things. So Ubisoft is possibly getting fined £79 million or $104 million by the in Austria's data authority. So,
what Ubisoft do now?
This is for
Spying.
basically spyware. Forcing single players online to spy on us is a new low. It's not really a new low though. We talked about this earlier before the show, and I will say Bloodaxe made a good point. We were actually talking about another the other company we'll talk about with Borderlands after this.
Take-Two.
But I don't believe. I mean, I do believe just about everybody is spying on us. I mean, we've seen it from Epic Games, with the Epic Store. We've seen it with. I guarantee you, the reason why Sony wants me to log in is to spy on me.
Oh hell yeah! That's why I don't do Sony.
I'm hoping that this look and this fine here gets them to go after Sony
I just
as
wish
well.
More countries were like Austria, and the UK is known for this too, of punishing this. The US needs to adopt a policy where they hit these companies up for these inappropriate spying practices and data collection, because as we're going to get into it later, they're aware of it. They only screw with the people that are letting them get away with it.
I mean, we tried it. California judge dismissed it back in just dismissed. Ubisoft Store using data with Meta via a tracking pixel without consent.
That's California, though.
Yeah.
I mean, no, we need a federal level. Like, the UK is feared for its consumer protectiveness.
Their consumer protectiveness is much better than ours.
Yeah, and it's to the point that some of these, if you don't mind jumping, some companies are making sure to exclude them when they put these policies in.
And I mean, we can talk about both of these at the same time. Borderlands has recently come back up. Now, they've been having bad EULA for a while, but apparently they went back and backtracked a bunch of their older games to the new EULA, basically saying you can't play the old games without accepting the draconic, as many people have said, draconian EULA, forcing, let's see, it says invasive data collection, also saying, you can't talk about a lot of things. And then on top of that, prohibiting some modding and mandatory arbitration, which is...
I mean, you can't even get legal, like, they're trying to take away your legal protective against it.
More than anything, the mandatory arbitration, I mean, we saw this with Disney recently, with Disney Plus, and, that's one of the nastier ones as well, because it's basically, you're forced to be regulated how you have your day in court, which stands against everything our country. Like, I mean, I just don't get
You're
it,
not
man.
supposed to be able to sign away your right to your day in court. And often, thankfully, some of these have literally not worked. Like, I think Disney had some trouble with that, didn't they? Where they were kind of like, no.
Because they were regularly using their arbitration clause for signing up for Disney Plus to extend to
the
their
park.
parks.
And like you showing if you get injured at their park, it was really stupid. Well, but the thing is, this doesn't happen because guess what? The new EULA excludes, like, it's either Austria or Australia and the UK, whichever the two countries are that are really bad about prosecuting for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Showing that they're only doing it because we're letting them. Like, we're not going, like, they backed down on the countries that said no. And the U.S. is a pretty big buyer. If we were to say no, ain't no way they're going to give up the U.S. market. No faster than they ain't going to give up the U.S., they're not going to give up China market. If we said, no, then they would have to pull the U.S.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too political in this one. And honestly, to go too much further with this, it would have to get really into political
I'm just talking about, like, they need to protect the customer. It doesn't matter what country it is. They need to do it.
But, I mean, there are some things that I don't want to bring up because it would lean to one side or the other.
Okay.
And it gets really deep into politics.
I do have a question, and it'll probably change the conversation a little bit. How many of us actually read the user licensing agreement?
Sadly, I mean, I don't, I mean, I'll scan them sometimes if it's a company I don't trust or if it's something new. But like for most video games, no, I don't really ever pay attention to it.
We'll probably be relying on someone who's actually bored and wants to go and read through this to share it, and then hopefully they'll share the right information, and then we'll get pissed.
Yeah. Now, I will say one of the things that I know a buddy of mine has started doing is getting AI to plain text EULAs, which basically AI will go through the EULA and then simplify it into, and apparently he's caught a lot of weird stuff in EULAs from doing that.
Read one time, and you'd be surprised what's contained in, everything from the phone that you have to the subscription services you subscribe to. There's a lot of twisted things that would make you uncomfortable because they have to blanket statement a lot of stuff. And, I'm always impressed when in my job I have people that come back with, hey, your contract says this, and I want to redline this stuff out. And I send it to our legal department, and they're like, okay. I'm like, well, if that was okay, then why is it in there? So, no, it always impresses me when people actually read the stuff because we're just so instant gratification. Whatever I have to click so I can start playing my game is kind of what we traditionally do as gamers. Well, so if you stop and read it sometime, you'd be like, well, maybe I don't want to play this game.
Yeah, sadly, there is no sending it to the law department and marking out parts of a EULA, though. I mean, it's either you play or you don't play.
Well,
right. The fact that someone's actually reading a 35-page document word for word impressed me. And
I agree.
Hold on, for every job I've taken, I've read the contract very thoroughly. But that's what I said. Well, that's what I was trying to get out was that's why countries that take up the slack, that's a good policy. Yeah, most people don't read the EULA. Why not lean, though, toward protecting your citizens and going, yeah, we've got federal policies, countrywide policies in check that says we don't care if you trick somebody into signing it. This is clearly not fair. Well, and we're not in support of it. We're going to fight it. We're going to sue you.
We put it into the hands of bureaus like the Better Business Bureau and stuff like that, which are easily padded. I
don't have no.
They're not really there for the customer. They'll sue a company. Mm-hmm. The customer won't see a dime of it. It all goes to the bureau. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we saw all those. I mean, it's like all the people that were suing Blizzard back then because they didn't do this for the. None of the employees were seeing that money. That was just the governments and the states and all that padding their pockets, and the employees had to do their own lawsuits and stuff. Man, I mean, we don't take care of our own.
No,
that's it sucks. But like you said, hard to stay out of politics. We'll go too much further down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. That's where I'm trying to avoid. So anyway, it is interesting to see. I mean, we've seen this happen many times where other countries have done things against these companies for privacy and stuff like that. Be nice to see, you know, us stepping up on privacy and respecting the users. And I hope that with stuff like this, we will see more companies afraid of maybe abusing that power.
That'd be nice.
Not until they get smacked down here in the States. That's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But once you start, then they go, oh, well, maybe we can't do that to our consumer base. And that will be something that I think all of us would welcome is, you know, just treat us fairly. So
now, I mean, the big problem with the Borderlands one is, you know, we're supposed to be seeing Borderlands 4 in September.
Yeah, it's a couple months away.
You know, that we still have almost no data about, and God only knows what their EULA is going to be now.
And that's why I have no plans to pre-order it unless something really major comes out or we get like a beta test or something. Because when Borderlands 3 came out, it was an absolute trash fire for a year. There were so many problems.
Broken.
And then I figured, you know what? They learned their lesson from Borderlands 3. They fixed everything. And I went and bought Wonderlands day one and regretted it. So until they do something to ease my concerns, Q might be playing by himself. But if I know Q, he's probably going to want to wait until we get some information out of it first, and maybe wait for it to go on sale before we all buy it. Because I'm not super.
My witness, I can wait. I don't know. I will wait to buy a game, dude. I've sat on it for a week at times, man. I'll sit on it, you know, and let it sit.
Borderlands 3 for a year before we got it, and then we got it half off.
I mean, if you want to wait a year,
I mean, dude, we dodged a bullet with Space Marines. From everything I've heard, they've modified that game to the point where it's almost not playable. Like they've nerfed so much stuff.
It's up and down a lot.
So I mean, us holding off on that and holding off on the hype. I mean, to me, it saved me money because I wouldn't have been able to drudge to do that. I would have gotten really pissed and annoyed really quickly.
And I really wanted to play Space Marine, but I also want to play Darktide, and it took them so long to get Darktide out that now I've kind of, even when Darktide did finally come out, I lost my desire to play Space Marine because how bad Darktide was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if nothing else, at least a few weeks to make sure that it isn't trash, you know, is a good idea. I say you sit on Borderlands 4. And if you do that, maybe they'll stop doing some of that stuff too, because you want to know what? It hurts them when they get that first week or two, because look at how we check games in the first week's numbers. You don't want, you know, the consumers to feel that they need to let your game sit to see what you're really doing. Yeah. But given the policies of them sneaking stuff in, and I wish we could get our money back. To me, if you change the EULA, I told you my opinion. I know it'll never pass. My opinion should be this. If you change the EULA, then the option, and if I can't play the game but I don't have to do EULA, you give me my money back. It's like, because you changed the deal. It's like, oh, okay, so our deal's no longer valid. I bought the game. I signed your original agreement. We had a deal. Now you want to change the deal. And you want to take the product away if I don't agree to the new deal. Well, then you give me back my money.
Well, you also
shut that down real fast.
Before you read the EULA. So, I mean, that's kind of, I don't think that's a true one-to-one agreement. Now, if you read it before they took money out of your wallet, yeah, then I would agree with you on that. But if you think about it, the three projects that Gearbox / Randy Pitchford have been involved with have all been clunkers between the Borderlands movie, Tales from the Borderlands 2.
What Bloodaxe was referring, I mean, what Q was referring to though was the fact that
they take it away. No, I get what
he's saying. Changing the EULA drastically, like after. Like a year down the road.
You made the original deal.
Right,
I signed the first EULA. I paid you your money.
Yeah, it's sort of like if you sign a house, a contract purchasing a house, you can't put in that contract that we can change this contract at any time, you know?
Right. But if you buy a game today.
But for some reason, we can do that with games and entertainment.
Hang on. If you bought Borderlands 4 today and you paid your money down to the game, then you read the EULA, you're not getting your money back anyway.
No, you can. You can actually get a refund within the first, 7 hours, if you haven't played for more than 2 or 3 hours. So, I mean,
you have a time frame to refund the game.
Xbox ain't going to do that. Is that a Steam thing? Because Xbox is not going to do that.
Xbox is supposed to be able to.
Xbox has a return policy.
Okay. I've tried to get my money back before. I was told hell no.
There's stipulations, but depending on how
It's the
much, it's
same
mainly
game.
depending on how much you played the game. But to me, look, I know what I'm saying.
Now the problem comes in with you is your love for physical. Now physical is they don't once it's open, it's open.
This was a DLC, an online DLC that I had bought, and I bought it accidentally under my name, and I was buying it for Mrs. Bloodaxe. I don't want purple camo skins for Gears 5. They're like, nope, you bought it. It's yours.
DLC may fall into
Actually, that's
digital,
weird.
but
Yeah, because I've accidentally bought an extra copy of a game and sent it to the wrong person and got my money back from Xbox. I was trying to get something for one of my boys, and I accidentally bought it for myself instead of as a gift. And I went in and got my money back and bought it as a gift, and they refunded me instantly. And then I bought it and sent it. It was a basketball game, and I sent it on over. But it wasn't a DLC. DLC's a weirder category because it's not a full game. I don't know.
It was $10 5 years ago. So, I mean, I'm not sweating it, but it did piss me off at the time. Like,
I agree. But I know how they can be about DLC.
Yeah.
But
they have a different return policy for virtual currency and microtransactions versus digital games and stuff. Looking at their website,
but you can normally get your money back for a game.
Yeah,
there's their policy. And my
digital currency is a little different.
And I know I'm pushing it. Don't get me wrong. I know it's an extreme, but something needs to come back to EULA, the EULA change, because that's not fair that they can change a EULA post.
No, I'm not trying to play devil's advocate. I agree with you. I just don't see how that's actually going to get anywhere unless there's a big class action or some kind of massive boycott.
It would have to be a government policy, a government policy.
Have to be a government
saying, you can't just change the contract as you see fit post and take away the product. You can deny further stuff, maybe like, oh, well, you want to get the next DLC or whatever, but you can't just keep doing it. And honestly, to me, I don't know why they're changing EULAs. I really don't. I don't know why. Most of the EULAs cover so dang much anyway. It's only because they want to do something they ain't got no damn business doing. Because most of the EULAs, if you do read them, you know why I don't like to read EULAs? Unlike most people, it's not laziness. It's because when I read the EULA, it kind of scares the hell out of me and makes me not want to play the game. Like Bloodaxe said, EULAs are kind of scary in how comprehensively excessive they are.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, if I read this, I'm going to want to refund this game. Like, it'll
you
make
need a law degree. I mean, you almost need a law degree for some of these things.
They're
as well.
bad. Well, luckily, I went to school for that. That's what my degree's in. And, it's alarming. Those contracts are. But my whole thing is just, we made a deal. You got your money. I paid you what you asked. That's it. What's this changing? What do you need? Why? I already own Borderlands 2. I already own Borderlands 1. Why are you changing when I need to access these games? I know they say you don't own your games, but what annoys me is even if you don't own your games, if you don't have a good reason to take my game away, why are you doing it? At least have a decent reason other than you're just an asshole.
Yeah.
And that's what Take-Two's doing. They're being a dick. The EULA should not make you unable to play the game, especially an older game. There's no valid reason for that. It's unnecessary. At least Ubisoft, I never thought I'd say at least Ubisoft would try to sell the new racing game. You know what I mean? But Borderlands 2 and 3 aren't affecting 4. This is not being done because it's harming the profit line. It's being done because they just want to be dicks and get in your business. And they don't have the patience to wait till September when everybody buys Borderlands 4.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said before the show, and I go into everything I do, whether it be on my phone, watching TV, playing Xbox, assuming that they know exactly what I'm doing. They're probably listening in via the mics. I mean, unfortunately,
I can assume that, but I can still fight it at the same time.
I'm not going to bend over, man, to make it easy for them.
I'm not going to bend over, but, that's why a lot of these games that are just meh, I don't even bother with, because you know what? I'm not going to, open up my home to your shit.
Well, also the difference in what you're saying, though, is that you assume you're being watched, yeah. But the difference is that to Take-Two wants you to sign up and give them permission. A lot of the others fine. not really supposed to always be doing that and using that data. But Take-Two is literally going like, nah, we want you to sign saying you can't even sue us if we sell your information to people you don't want to have it. They're not supposed to be doing that. Well, at least they're being sneaky about it. You know what I used to say? At least lie to me. You know what I'm saying? Don't be rude. You know, at least lie to me. No, man, we're not doing that. Nobody likes you in any store you go into. Good customer service is still a lie, but at least they had a decency to pretend they want to serve you. And for my money, you better at least fake it. You better act like you want me here. Nobody wants to make your sandwich, but you better act like you want to.
No, they just want their paycheck.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, last time we got, I mean, this one sounds like an awesome lineup under a horrible umbrella, but Amazon secures Highlander rights, Henry Cavill to star with Chad Stahelski directing.
I thought this was already known.
Yeah, I mean, but apparently they finally secured it.
It's been finalized.
It's been finalized. Official. It's official.
Now, that doesn't mean we're going to get a show. We didn't get our Space Marines.
Yeah, we didn't get our Space Marines. I mean,
and we don't know what weird crap they want to do to this story.
Yeah, contracts can end, and
especially when you have an actor with integrity, that puts a real hard case of, because when they decide that Henry's like, okay, let me stop. I was about to get rid of it. Yeah. When they decide to alter the story of our McLeod and get weird with it, and Henry goes, hell no, it may flub, because Henry is the kind of guy, he's no Nakuti Gotwai. He'll say no. But I mean, he has standards.
We've wanted Henry Cavill as a Highlander for a while. I mean, like, he is about the only choice, I think, if you're going to reboot it, that you can do it with.
Yep.
Yeah, and the thing about Henry Cavill, though, is he's a geek like most of us in our audience are, and he knows the lore. And there's a reason why The Witcher went off the rails, because they were, again, diverging from the source material. But, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. Now, if it was...
This guy did John Wick. Directed John Wick.
Well, the first couple movies were really good. The fourth one I just didn't care for, but the first two were tight. But
it's hard to make a good
Amazon
movie,
is the problem they ran into with the Rings of Power and the Wheel of Time. Maybe this will give some legitimacy if he does kind of push back on the direction of the reboot, or however they're doing it. Maybe that will kind of point him in the right direction where we'll get something quality from Amazon for once. Because for the most part, their recent stuff hasn't been good. So I would
not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this. I mean, Amazon has managed to pull off a couple of good things, but in general, they have not done well. So
this is Amazon. They may decide to base the series on the second Highlander movie.
Well, but that's sort of the thing I was going to bring up when he was talking about Henry Cavill and lore with Highlander. Highlander's lore has been all over the place, even in between the different movies.
So, the series was good. The first movie was good.
About
the second movie.
What was that? I was more talking about them actually staying in the vein of the first film. But what's this about a Voltron live action with Henry Cavill? Did I just miss that one entirely?
We all missed it. I saw it and didn't even bring it up. I just saw it now and was like, I don't. That's for Jarek. We'll ask Jarek about it. He's a Go Lion fan. He'll let us know about it, but he hasn't even mentioned it, which tells me it probably is a rumor or it hasn't reached any real momentum.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's in the article. You got pulled up right there.
No, that doesn't mean they've gotten anywhere on it, though. It may be...
Here, I'll click on it.
No, hang on. According to this, filming began in Australia this past week and is expected to be released in 2026.
Okay.
So they started filming it.
Apparently.
Now, that is going to be either like the Transformers movie, or it's going to be like Mortal Kombat 2. It's either going to be really good or really bad. Because you can't do Voltron live action unless there's a lot of CGI, but it has to be good CGI.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest, man. I think a lot of people have slightly rose-tinted glasses about Voltron. The fights were awesome. The story was, you know what I'm saying? Like when I look back and I remember the story, I go,
the story was dark.
It was really cool to watch the robot fight the giant monsters. You know?
Well, the stories were dark because for some reason I got down on a Voltron kick a couple months ago and started watching something on Cinemax or whatever I can't watch series. Maybe it was on YouTube, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is actually kind of dark." I mean, this
yeah,
is
a lot
really...
of people, like I said, have rose-tinted glasses. It was kind of a messed up story.
But it was better than I remember as a kid because it was all road beast. But in true Japan, it wasn't road beast. It was real blood and gore, and it was pretty gruesome. But they had to tone it down for the American audience. They didn't think that 6-year-old Bloodaxe could handle real fights with blood and gore.
That's why I wonder how many people are going to go into this knowing what they're getting into. That's why I'm like, I wonder if there's going to be like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yay, I had the lions. Or they're going to be like, oh, this is going to be effed up. Yeah. What if they're going to kill that one guy that they killed in a cartoon and most people didn't know that guy died because they didn't cover it in the American version. They just replaced the character and you didn't know he was dead as hell.
No, that was Sven, and then they...
don't say... Okay, I was hitting with just spoiler.
Oh, come on! That thing was back from the 80s. If you don't know that by now, you shouldn't be watching our show. I'm going to pull a Rachel Zegler right here.
Hold on. We don't ever say that. We don't ever say don't watch the show. We don't hit the touch grass line.
We don't have enough people for that, man.
I said you shouldn't be watching our show. You're not enough of a geek.
Yeah, we don't say that.
See,
you're enough of a geek.
That's drawing a line. Yeah, we're good.
Watch our show, regardless of your geek level.
Oh man.
No, I mean, at least they went Go Lion and not.
Dang, he's got so much lined up. I don't see how he has time. He's got to be cloning himself.
Because most of that ain't happening, from what I can tell. I mean, I'd like to see Highlander.
I mean, Voltron's in production. Highlander's in pre-production.
Enola Holmes? What's Enola Holmes?
Female Sherlock, I guess.
Click it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, and he plays Sherlock Holmes. And then there's an
Millie
Enola
Bobby
Holmes.
Brown, 11 from Stranger Things. There's already 2 of them. I mean,
there's 2 what?
Enola Holmes.
Oh, it's a movie series.
Yeah.
Is it good? What's the rating?
What is she, the daughter of Sherlock?
The second one.
Yeah, I now remember this series. Yeah, it was their attempt to, do what they always do. And I think it did okay-ish. They were like, you know what would be better? What if it was a female Holmes? But she's not replacing Sherlock Holmes. She's like a descendant, I think, or a sister. No, a sister, right? What is a sister or something?
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't care enough about Sherlock to care one way or the other.
It's what you think, though. It is. I remember now. I'm remembering more of the story as I'm sitting here, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember what that was. Yeah, it's his sister.
Sherlock's sister.
And him and Sherlock and his brother are kind of sexist. They don't want to let it's what you expect, dude.
It was Broadsword.
There's a reason it's 6.6 and 6.8 it passed.
Squadron 40.
Anyways.
Thanks for bringing that back into my memory. Now I'm remembering actually watching that, and I'm like, oh yeah.
I mean,
at least it's not bad.
Worth keeping an eye on where the reboot for Highlander's going. Hell, got to keep an eye out now on Voltron, I guess.
I'll wait until they start advertising it or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take a peek at it, I guess, but I'm way more interested in here we are. They got to redo the theme.
So those of you that don't know, that's actually when Q calls me, that's his ringtone, is Princess of the Universe. And my mom hates it when it goes off because he calls so much that the song now gets on her nerves.
I am immortal.
I have inside me blood
kings. Tell you, man, they got to do the song. And with Henry Cavill, he's got the chutzpah to pull it off. He's the kind of guy, if I saw him, like, oh, there's an Immortal nearby. I walk around the corner, and Henry Cavill walks around the corner. I'm going to be like, I'm going to call this one.
Yeah.
I was looking for somebody smaller.
I wonder who they'll cast as the Kurgan for the reboot.
The Watchers.
Yeah.
No, man. I'm telling you. I know what they need to do. Now I'm trolling. Told they need to base the movie on movie 2, man. They're
Which
aliens.
one? Which version?
Highlander 2. Aliens, man.
What version of it? Wasn't it like redone like several times?
I don't think there's any version where they weren't aliens.
Well,
Anyways.
I mean, the Highlander 3 said there is no Highlander 2, and then there was Endgame, not Endgame. Then there was the one from the TV series that said there's no Highlander 1, 2, or 3. So there's all
man. Highlander 2. They need to go with that arc. He needs to arrive on a spaceship, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh gosh, what was the name of that planet? They were from Zex. Is that where they were from? The planet Zex? Zeist. They're from Zeist.
So bad. It's so awfully bad.
All right. And with that, we're going to wrap up the show. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to go to Dicejunkies.com where you can find links everywhere we're online. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And as every week,
We hope you enjoy.
all right.